Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday. How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. Today is the last Monday of September, and that means it's time for the Stamper Showcase Blog Hop. I'm so excited about it. Y'all know how much I love the Stamper Showcase Blog Hop. This month's theme is all about fall and Halloween projects. And so I have this beautiful autumn card to share with you. And it's super easy to do, very classy, very pretty, and so much fun. So let me tell you what you're going to need. First of all, I'm going to be using a lot of ink on this project, and it's just because I have several different inks to use, and the little acorn all by itself uses 3 colors, but that's okay. Alright, so we have Mint Macaron, Pretty Peacock, Soft Suede, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, and Cajun Craze. Okay, so the Early Espresso is what we're going to use for the outline on all 3 of the little images. And then Cajun Craze is going to be for the maple leaf. The Crumb Cake and Soft Suede are going to be for the acorn. The Mint Macaron is going to be for the oak leaf. And then, of course, the Pretty Peacock is for the Stamp Sentiment. So now that we've got the ink out of the way, of course I'm using Very Vanilla cardstock and then the beautiful basket weave ribbon. This is from a combo pack, which is a basket weave and a metallic ribbon. These are in the holiday catalog and they're absolutely beautiful. And then last but not least, I'm using the beautiful Autumn Stamp and Punch bundle. Now, of course, I shared this last because this is, of course, the star of the show today. And also, I wanted to just let you know that if you purchase the Stamp and Punch bundle from me before the end of the month, I'm going to include the PDF tutorial for this adorable little box so that you will be able to store yours in a fabulous way, and this will sit up on your tabletop, which is exactly what I'm going to do with it. And we're going to be using several stamps out of the stamp set. Alright, now that we've got that out of the way, here's what you're going to need for supplies. You'll need a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and this is going to be your card base. You'll need a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock that measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. This is going to layer over the front of our card. You'll need layering squares, no, not layering squares, oh my goodness, the stitched shapes. This is the smallest of the squares. Now, if you don't have the stitch shaped dies, that's totally fine. You can still do the project without the stitching, and this is a 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch square. So you can just take a 1 1/4 inch strip of cardstock and cut it into 1 1/4 inch squares as well. But if you have the stitched shapes, that stitching really does make a beautiful accent to the project. So you'll need 3 of those. And then you'll need a scrap of vanilla cardstock that we're going to stamp and punch those beautiful little leaves and acorn out of. Okay, so now that we have all of that stuff together, let's go ahead and start by stamping and punching our little shapes. So as I said, I'm going to use Early Espresso ink for the outlines, and I'm just going to lay my inks out here. There we go. Alright, Early Espresso is going to be the outline for all 3 of the shapes. So just lightly tap, 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 and then stamp the acorn, the oak leaf, and the maple leaf. There we go. I'll set that aside for just a second, and then we'll come back in with the crumb cake and the body of the acorn. We'll lightly tap, 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 and then we're going to step it off one time so that it makes it just a really light shade of crumb cake. And then grab the soft suede ink and the crown, cup, cap, hat, whatever you call the top part of the acorn. And we'll lightly tap, and this time we're going to stamp it straight down. We're not stepping it off. There we go. Now we'll take the mint macaron ink and the background for the oak leaf, give it a light tap, 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 and we're not going to step it off either. We're going to stamp it straight down. Beautiful. I love these colors together. They are the epitome of fall. And as you can see, my nails are pretty peacock color, which matches beautifully. I did not actually intend that, but it worked out to my advantage. Okay, now with the Cajun Craze, we are going to step it off because it's a really rich color. So we'll step it off so that way it's a nice soft leaf, which is what we want, so that it matches the other images. Whoops, I'm throwing things. Okay, now we'll get our punches, and each one lines up beautifully. There we go. There's one. These things are so tiny. Try to make sure that they're centered properly, but then my hand shakes and it goes, oh, you ever do that when you're trying to focus so hard that you go, it's terrible. Maybe that's just me. All right, there we go. All right, now we're going to take these three shapes and we're going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals behind them. And I'm going to do just a little bit of tweaking on some of them because the acorn is really easy. It's big enough to hold a solid full-size dimensional. But the other two have to be finagled just a little bit, so I'm going to take a dimensional and cut it into bits and place them on the backs of the leaves here. So it's the leaves that are going to give us just a little trouble, but that's okay. We can just cut a tiny little bit off and all will work out well. There we go. Well, then you just get off there, little backing. That's perfectly fine. Alright, and one more. With this one, I think I can just put 2 mini dimensionals and it will be just fine. Well, I was thinking so, but then I remember I cut one in half and used it. There we go. Alright, now that we have these, of course we'll push them down really well so that they stick. And we're going to just center each one on its own square tile here. There we go. That looks pretty good. And one more. If you've not tuned in with me before and aren't already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to go down and click the subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos and you'll be notified when I go live. There we go. Okay, now that I have these done, I'm going to bring in the 4" by 5 1/4" cardstock. That's this front layer, and I'll go ahead and stamp the Life is Better with You stamp. I love this sentiment. There we go. And we'll get the pretty peacock ink. And I'm just going to stamp right about here. So I'm leaving just a little border on both sides. And we'll set that off to the side for just a second and then bring in the card base. And I'm going to stamp My Heart is Grateful for You. And we'll also use that pretty peacock. And I'm just going to line it up right there. There we are. Close the ink up and set that off to the side. Alright, now let's bring this piece back in. I have a strip of that basket weave ribbon that is approximately 6 inches. And what I want to do is line up where I want the ribbon to go. Flip the card over. And I'm just going to attach a little seal right here on either side, right where the ribbon will fold over. Just like that. This is just going to give it a little hold so that it doesn't go anywhere, because we're going to put this piece on dimensionals as well. So there we go. And then let me grab my dimensionals. I want to mention to you that in the next few days you should be seeing a beautiful autumn card class to go that will be listed on my Facebook business page, which is the Stampin' Chick Dana Sullivan. So if you go to Facebook and search the Stampin' Chick Dana Sullivan, or there will be a link down in the description box below. You can go visit my Facebook page and see any classes that I have coming up, and you can sign up for them then. So this one's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a tag and a treat holder and some other projects that are going to be so great. I think that you'll really enjoy them. And remember, of course, if you purchase the Stampin' Die bundle before the end of the month, I'll also be sending you that PDF tutorial for the punch holder. And that makes your punch look very pretty while they're sitting on your counter. Keeps them all together in one place, and it makes it easier to get a hold of them. You don't have to fumble around with grabbing at 3 different punches to bring them all out so that you can work on them. You can just grab the box. Alright, so now we've got our dimensionals behind that layer. We've got the layer attached to our card base. Now we're going to simply attach our little squares here. So this part takes just a minute. I'm kind of persnickety, and even then sometimes I think I can't. Maybe I see wrong. But I'm going to try to center these the best I can. So I think I want it to be something like that. There we go. That looks relatively centered. Maybe a little too much that way. We'll see. Let's go ahead and lay these others down, and that usually helps. I don't know. Go on, backing. That one wanted to stay with me. Alright, there we go. think something to that effect is good. And then the last one, okay, and I see there's a little difference between the edges here, so let's just pick this one up and scoot it a tiny bit. We thought it was over just a little bit anyways. Okay, there we go. Now we're done, and our card is finished. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. It's so sweet, it's clean and fabulous. And then, of course, as I always say, no naked insides and no naked envelopes. Oh, I've got to finish that one too. On this one, I put the sentiment and then I stamped the little acorns on either side. And I think on this one, I'm just going to stamp one little acorn in here. And on the envelopes, because I like to match the envelopes with the cards, I stamped one in the bottom front corner and then one on the back flap, so it's fabulous. Alright, so let me get my ink back out here. I need the early espresso and a light tap, tap, tap. Step it down. Let me grab my scratch paper here. And the crumb cake, step it off one time, stamp it down. Okay, and then we're almost done. Tap, 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 and there we go. All right, my friends, there you have it. A super sweet little fall card, thinking of you in the best kind of way. Life is better with you, and my heart is grateful for you. I love these sentiments. They're so super sweet. I hope that you liked today's project. Remember to head over to my blog, stampinchick.blogspot.com, or you can simply visit thestampinchick.com and see today's blog post with the Stamper Showcase blog hop. Be sure to check out the details on my blog and then click the next button on my blog to visit all the others. There are absolutely amazing designers in this blog hop. They always create beautiful projects. You won't be sorry. There's a lot of fun and inspiration there to be seen and had, and you don't want to miss out on it. Alright friends, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed today's project. Until next time, bye for now.